So, like, who won the fight last weekend?
Why don't you tell us, Dane? You were so enthralled with it. Like you fucking... Well, first of all, it looked like a grenade got thrown on my fucking couch because cushions and accoutrement were splayed all over the fucking place. Like it was...
Hold on. Listen here. First of all, your cushions, okay?
Yes,
there is
pillows and cushions.
There is a specific, and I don't know what it is, but there is a specific cushion to couch laying surface area ratio that would make sense. And I defy you or anyone else to sit down on that couch and say legitimately that the ratio is correct on that.
You're not the only culprit there. Like
those cushions push you 3/4 of the way off the couch. So yeah, I got to make some room when I'm trying to relax.
They certainly don't. Well, why don't we take into consideration the fact that it looks like you fell out of a fucking plane with how you sleep? Like one arm's like completely detached and sitting behind your head. And then you got a leg kicked up through my fucking window. The neighbors are making sure that I'm okay over here.
I look like Peter Griffin when he falls.
Yes, exactly. Like his legs are all fucked up and facing the wrong way. Like become a fucking contortionist. I can neither
confirm nor deny that's a true statement.
So to be truthful to you guys, last week we had this whole little thing planned where after we recorded, we were going to watch the fights. I was going to make jambalaya, and I was told.
You don't have to say was. I mean, you actually did that.
I did make the jambalaya. And
it's pretty fire though.
Yeah.
You sign up for $5 a month, we'll send you some jambalaya.
That's not true. We aren't. The licensure alone would put us in the fucking red.
Yeah, that's true. Goddamn feds.
You goddamn government. Anywho, so I made the bomb ass at the behest of the co-host. And he said that if his butthole doesn't burn, if he's not crying while he's eating it,
I don't think those were exact words. It definitely the crying while eating and the nose running was true.
He wanted to feel the pain. Well, I mean, it goes without saying. If it burns on the way down, it's gonna burn on the way out. Anyway, so after he knocks out about 2 bowls after I slaved over a hot stove for 4 hours.
By which, of course, he means he put in a pressure cooker and walked away from it for 2 hours.
Oh,
but, who's counting?
That is a gross misrepresentation of what happened, my friend. I was slicing and dicing, cooking and frying and sauteing
and hold on a
sizzling.
Hold on a second.
And all making it look so good, by the way.
Who detailed and deveined all the shrimp?
That was one thing, and then you made the rice.
You made the rice.
And who made the rice? Oh, with you boiled fucking water. Fuck me. How did you do it?
The marinating of the other things don't count because you just put it in a freaking bag with some stuff and just left
you didn't make that.
You
didn't make that, Obama.
I did not.
Okay, cool.
Obama.
Okay. Yeah, you didn't think about the flavor notes to dump over the meat for it to set in.
I mean,
hey, guess what? Ask me what broth I used when I made the jambalaya. Go ahead, ask.
What broth did you
None.
use?
I used the marinade. So suck my jibbity jack balls. Lick the balls. And so the marinade did count, and it was delicious and nutritious.
I didn't say that it. Okay, I did say it didn't count.
Yeah.
Okay. You made 80% of it. All I'm saying is this: what you
80%.
You made it sound like I didn't do anything.
80%.
Listen, the shrimp deveining is not an easy thing to do.
The marinade alone is 15%. And then I chopped up all the chicken, made sure all the flavor notations were,
We're totally missing the point.
I made good jambalaya.
The point is, I don't know who won the fight.
And then Dane downed 2 bowls, exploded my couch, and then faded off into the ether. Like, you do weird things with your hands when you sleep, too. You're doing, like, gerbil-ish things where, like, they just, like feel for things. It's like you're feeling your way through the dark or something like that.
I'm like Peanut. She's, like, chasing rabbits in her dream when
Tell them
sleeps.
Who Peanut is.
Peanut is the family dog. And, she does, like...
A family dog.
She's, like, chasing
because
rabbits.
P would be referred to as my goddamn family dog.
We have multiple family dogs. Anyway, point is...
Jesus
Christ. That's what we're trying to say. But anyway, I don't know who won the fight. I guess I could have Googled it, but the whole purpose of this entire setup was so we could just chill and watch the fight. And then, like,
Oh, we chilled
An
and
hour
watched
before
the
the fight
fight,
started, I was out.
Yeah, off of the Never Never Land.
Well, anyway,
I'm a damn self.
should we get to this thing? Should we do some stuff today?
I don't know.
Should we talk about some talkery?
We can always shoot the shit.
All right, this one, today's meme comes from our friends, I think. No, since I don't remember exactly where I got it from, I'll just say who the URL that posted it. Socialistalternative.org. Yeah, I have a problem. I follow way too many commie sites. But where do we get our material if not for these
Dane,
jackwads?
how the fuck can you say they're communist?
Whatever.
You done
legwork. They did an emoji with Karl Marx behind this graph, which you'll see if you go to wmdpodcast.com/9.
Nice.
So anyway,
nice plug, dog.
So we're getting better at this thing.
I can't wait till we have actual reads.
47 episodes in, we're getting pretty fluid with this thing.
47 or 9, whatever you. Oh well, you're counting all
I'm not
lost
that good
episodes.
I'm not good with quick maths. Yes,
the lost episodes,
which you'll get access to, if you support the show. Anyway, so they reposted a tweet from Bloomberg Opinion with a clever little Karl Marx emoji behind it, as if the answer to this is so painfully obvious to them.
Dane's gonna have a lot to say about this shit.
The Bloomberg post is, why don't workers get the full benefit of rising productivity? No one has good answers. And then it shows a graph where it shows real output per hour, and that has steadily risen over the last several decades. And then the other line is real compensation per hour. So basically they're saying the economy is getting more and more productive, yet wages have essentially stagnated relative to that productivity. And even though the productivity is going up, the pay for the workers, who I'm sure your average everyday communist socialist would say is the 100% driving force behind that productivity, because capitalists play no role whatsoever. Investment capital, no role whatsoever in rising productivity. But that's the meme. The broader meme is this nonsense that is perpetuated by the super lefties that, it's the labor theory of value. The only thing that produces any value in the economy is the labor that went into production. That's a meme that needs to be destroyed, because that meme underlies a lot of really, really shitty policies that actually hurt the people they're intended to help. But that's the meme. What's your riff, Mr. Guy?
Well, I can't tell if you listeners are already onto the social cues that you're giving off, but I don't think we're going to get through this one in 30 minutes. So I hope you've got...
Well, considering we intro bantered for 6.
Listen, that's just hedging my bets, buddy.
All right. We got to do that just in case people
buckle up. You're in for a long haul. First off, is this the simp thing? It's not the simp thing.
No. Okay. That's something else. I did. I threw you a curvy curve.
Thanks, buddy. Communication is really important between people.
Even though we have this thing scripted down to the syllable,
correct.
we got to make it look like it's somewhat spontaneous,
improvisational. You say?
Yeah. So what do you think about that? What's your take on the labor theory of value? What do you think about the idea that no matter what you buy, from something as complex as a car to as simple as a ham sandwich, that the price you paid for it is determined by the labor that went into it, whether it be the hours of work to produce the constituent parts,
it'd be the appreciation of the labor that was put into it, right? Kind of.
I mean that's
like, because if I'm buying a $5 footlong that a sandwich artist at Subway made for me, that tells you that the Subway conglomerate doesn't value that worker very much, because how are they going to be able to pay this artist that slaved over that cold sandwich for so long to make it right down to the taste that I wanted.
Right, but
$5.
what's your read on the idea? The meme is that if you pay $5 for the sandwich, that basically $5 worth of labor went into it, because even if only $4.99 went into it, then the Subway owner takes his 1 cent of profit, and according to these communists, that's what's exploitative about the whole work relationship between capitalists and their workers, is that any amount of value that is extracted from the sale of the end good is theft, is what they would say. It's not what they would say, it's what they do say. It's what the labor theory of value is based on. So if not only for all of the parts that make up the sandwich and the labor of the sandwich maker to give you your sandwich, if that tallies up to only $4.99, they would say that the sandwich shop owner is stealing 1 cent worth of value from the worker. What's your take on that? Does that seem to make sense without getting into the weeds of it? Does that make sense on the surface level to you?
Well, obviously not, because, first of all, there's a brick and mortar around it. There's an owner. He's got to pay for the what do they call that? Repurposed salami, repurposed turkey. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen a chicken, like if you've ever cut open a chicken breast and you see those little lines, those little striations that tell you that it was actually part of an animal at once.
Yeah.
Well, when you bite into the chicken, like the chicken breast, quote unquote, it's just like a formatic. It's just like a little styrofoam chicken breast looking thing. But so they had to pay for that. So I can't imagine that top quality meat would cost any less than $10 a pound.
Or regardless of quality, the nature of the meat that you received it in.
Right.
It was processed in some form or fashion.
They had to be processed, and then there had to be brought into the store, transported to the store. You get it. There's other processes involved. So obviously 100% of the income cannot go to 100% of the worker, because there's other values and variables. And this is just basically math.
Yeah.
Like 5th grade math.
Which is exactly what I was hoping
I got
you
held
would
back
say.
a couple of times.
Because
it's really like 2nd or 1st grade math.
Because it's really just like it's simple common sense.
Sure.
Now, we don't always think, when we buy our sandwich from Subway, we don't walk in there saying, man, I'm really glad that the rubber producer produced the rubber for the tires that went on the truck that shipped the meat from,
speak for your fucking self.
All right, buddy? From where the animal was raised to the processing plant. I love walking in there
and smelling that, what they're trying to portray as bread smell. It smells a little more like feet to me, but I value that. I value the stonemanship.
Subway is never going to sponsor the stonemanship.
Well, they've got.
Oh man,
we should have interviewed Jared. Anyway, moving on.
Let's keep a safe distance from Jared.
About 500 feet from any schoolyard. Anyway, I go to respect the tiles that were laid so carefully, the sneeze-proof glass that's in front of the yellowish lettuce. I every avenue of the experience I take in Subway.
Right.
Because I'm a Renaissance man.
So I hope that with just this very brief discussion, our lovely listeners are, finding the absurdity of this labor thing, which it's interesting, right? That Facebook communists are still, these pages, they crack me up, right? They speak from such a high horse, like, oh, you got to read theory, right? You got to read Das Kapital. You got to read the Communist Manifesto. It's not good enough just to share memes or to shout, Marxist slogans. Like, you got to really get into the theory. If you ask any actual economist who teaches at a university, but there is still such a thing as a Marxist economist, that none of them still adhere to the labor theory of value, because it has been resoundingly, it was debunked within 5 years of Marx putting it in the Communist Manifesto. Like the marginal revolution destroyed the labor theory of value, root and branch, from the very beginning. And
the Marx Brothers?
Yeah, those guys. And no self-respecting Marxist economist still holds to the labor theory of value, but these, people that run these socialist commie meme pages talk about, oh yeah, you got to read it because the labor theory of value is still out there. But
I'm assuming you're talking about Karl Marx, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So we've scraped the surface off this thing, but let's go to the claim itself, right? So they're saying that despite the economy getting so much more productive, real wages are not keeping up with that. So,
but they're blaming amount of income for that, not inflation or anything like the ambient world around it.
Let's right.
So this is we've bitten through the chocolatey outer covering.
Yes.
Now we're getting down to the nougaty, caramely, crispity. Enjoy our nuts.
You longtime listeners are gonna know what that's all about.
Or if you've been to the website at all.
So, as you might imagine, an infantile response such as, well, laborers aren't getting the full benefit of their productivity because greedy capitalists are skimming too much off the top. You've probably already gathered that's not a sufficient response. So let's get into some numbers here. The minimum wage today is $7.25. Everybody complains about that. We fight for 15 is shoved in our face, blah, 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 because apparently $15 an hour is a living wage.
Is that what that's about?
Yeah.
I thought it was something.
You think they were fighting for Tim Tebow?
I thought it was
or something a little more.
I thought it was a little more nefarious than that.
You think they're fighting for Patty Mahomes?
No, I thought they were fighting for something completely different.
And that's we ain't going down that road.
That's why I was I don't even want to be in the near vicinity of that stuff.
Listen, I wouldn't put it past these goonberries.
Ooh, goonberries.
So anyway, let's get into some numbers and let's ask a real question. Not are the laborers not getting their money because greedy capitalists, or are they not getting their money because of something else? The minimum wage today is $7.25 an hour. Everybody complains about that. It's too low.
Boom, facts.
Okay. Now, the minimum wage in 1964, which was 7 years before Nixon took the U.S. government off the gold standard in 1971, the minimum wage in 64 was $1.25 an hour. Now, you might say, Dane, why does this matter? Who cares?
By the way, guys, he's reading off of something on his phone, so he did do legwork, which I'm more than a little bit
this isn't
here.
Totally off the top of the dome, because if I could remember all this verbatim, that would be impressive.
This is so fucking official. If he had a whistle,
there was some pre-work done.
He might have some black lines and white lines on his shirt. That's all I'm saying.
So if you were paid that $1.25 in 5 quarters at that time, which back then the money was actually made of real silver, not the metals that substituted after we left the gold standard. So $1.25 paid in 5 quarters comes out to about 1.1 ounces of melt silver. Now, you might ask yourself, what is 1.1 ounces of silver in today's value? Because the price of silver has gone up substantially since 1964, so has gold and other precious metals. Well, as of me checking 2 days ago, the price of silver is about $19.05 an ounce. So that means if you got paid 1964's wages in 2020, but you were paid in 1964's money, which was silver coins, that would actually be a value of $21.07 an hour. So without the arbitrary raising of numbers of money that has no value and therefore is useless, like who cares if you make $5,000 an hour? If the money's worthless, the money's worthless.
Prussian francs.
But if you got paid in 1964's minimum wage with 1964's money, you'd be getting paid about $21.07 an hour, a full $6 more than what even the Fight for 15 crowd is calling for. So you should ask yourself, not why hasn't the real wages of laborers risen commensurate with the productivity of the economy, you should be asking yourself, what the fuck has government done to our money?
Do you feel your mental sanity is crumbling just as quickly as your bank account?
Have you been stung by a murder hornet?
Has your daughter walked into your study and informed you that she is a gender you didn't learn about in Biology 101?
Are you just a little bummed out that your life's work just got burnt to a crisp and annoyed that everyone keeps telling you that it's all right, you have insurance?
Well, we have a solution for you. Apocolection 2020.
What is Apocolection 2020, you ask? It's Weapons of Meme Destruction's first live event. For the low, low price of coming over to wmdpodcast.com and joining our email list, you can get access to the event. The email list is the only way in, as that is where we will share the Zoom link to the event. Come hang out with us on election night, November 3rd, 2020, as we watch the fall of Western civilization together.
Let's have a couple libations and a couple laughs to keep from crying. Apocolection 2020.
David, I kick it over to you. What the fuck has government done to our money?
What have they done? Well, first of all, I can tell you what they did because this was just brought up to me. Like, I got paid in like $1990 the other day. Do you know what I mean by that?
No.
I'm this old. You remember when it used to be like
the president's
like the
faces
little,
were really
the little
tiny?
small ones? Yeah,
Yeah.
like on the dollar bill.
Oh, yeah.
Like I got paid with 220s from that time, and his face was so small. I was like, I remember seeing the new bill and being like, this is monopoly money. You know, so first of all, they turned our money into a joke because, you know, I got paid. It was sophisticated. That $1990 bill is like Jefferson was stalwart on it. And he looked, they didn't blow his face to comical proportions on it and like put a bunch of little 20s on it. So what I'm saying is they changed our money in that way, first of all. And then I think they did something a little more nefarious, and you're probably going to go into that.
Well, yeah. So I think, you know, despite my co-host pessimism that we couldn't do this in 30 minutes, I mean, the meme has been sufficiently destroyed.
Oh, you're just no. He's cutting times, guys. He's
not
cutting segments.
No. We still have time. We still have plenty of things to say. But what I'm saying is, what we started out this meme that, you know, the only reason why laborers, despite the economy being more productive, are not getting paid the full value of their labor in terms of their wages, because, again, as they would say, policy hasn't kept up and we don't have enough minimum wage. That's not the reason.
Cleanliness is next to godliness.
The reason is because your dollar is, in no uncertain terms, less valuable tomorrow than it is today. And if you do that over 100 years, and again, more data for you know, our side of the argument, since the establishment of the Federal Reserve in 1913, the US dollar has lost over 95% of its value.
What up, bitch?
If you were paid $1 in 1913 and did nothing but save it, that dollar would be worth about 5 cents today. Now, over the course of generations, when people work at, it not so much applies to our generation now. People are changing careers and changing, employers all the time.
Don't say JCPenney.
But think of like the classic way, like your grandfather would go to work for GM, and they would work for GM for 50 years. They'd get a pension from GM, and that's about it. They'd save as much as they could. They'd live within their means, but as long as they were saving, at the end of their life, they were going to be fine. They didn't have to get super speculative in the stock market. They had relatively good interest rates on the saving of their dollars. That's not available to us because the government has so resoundingly destroyed the value of our currency. And when you wonder why or how, look no further than their response in both 2008 and to the coronavirus. Oh no, we're in trouble. The economy's in trouble of something that we caused, the government caused. Well, let's just print another $2 trillion out of thin air and hand it out.
The government didn't cause COVID. Duh. Dang.
No, they caused the shutdown of the economy to COVID, which was
thank you.
Not obvious that was the required response.
Well, I mean, we can get into semantics about COVID all we want.
That's another episode.
Let's stay on topic today.
But the point is that if your response to everything, and here we sit, what are we at, like $25 trillion of debt?
Fake news.
when the government's answer to everything is print more money and pay for it, regardless of where that money's coming from, and there's nothing holding or supporting the value of that currency, it just becomes a matter of time and a matter of crises again and again and again, printing more and more money before your dollar ends up becoming completely worthless. So if you're wondering why getting paid $7.25 today, which is almost a 700% increase over 1964's minimum wage, yet a much more productive economy is not helping the lower and middle classes that earn less and less nominal wages in terms of the purchasing power of their dollar, you need to ask yourself, why is $7.25 so much more worthless in 2020 than $1.25 was in 1964? It's because your money, the value of it has been destroyed, because the government decoupled it from anything of real tangible value like precious metals, silver, and gold, and then proceeded to flood the economy with it again and again and again, such that when you don't have more real goods that are being chased by those extra dollars, it's going to take more dollars to chase those real goods.
Jesus. I fell asleep there for a second, but I think what you're saying is that when we removed ourselves from the gold standard and just started printing money, the value of, I think, isn't it kind of common knowledge nowadays that America's biggest export is our consumerism? And so if our money doesn't mean anything and all we're doing is consuming, and we're not actually that's not actually bringing any, value back to our money, is it? Unless we kind of, you're the economist here.
The thing, I'm not.
He's an economist.
Which is why real economists that are listening to this are probably, sitting there scratching their head going, man, he's missing this in a lot
the
of
fucking
holes.
Veins in their forehead are starting to bulge.
But
shut up, economist.
You're
wrong. Deal with it.
It's not a one-to-one relationship between what the economy produces and the value of its currency. I mean, it matters. There is a tie in there, but that's not fundamentally what's going on here. Because when we talk about, are the laborers getting the full benefit of the value that they produce, what you're really asking is, what is the purchasing power of their dollar? Right? So if somebody in 1964 with $1.25 could buy, half a grocery cart worth of groceries, and then that same laborer in 2020 can't buy the same amount of goods with $50, you have to realize that the purchasing power of their dollar is not going near as far as it did before.
Right.
And if the dollar is not purchasing as many real tangible goods that are consumable, your groceries, the clothes you wear, the gas you put in your car, et cetera, et cetera.
So let's add a new topic.
Then that means that your dollar is less and less valuable.
Let's do something
which means
new.
you have to earn more of them to be able to keep up.
First time in Weapons of Meme Destruction's history. Its long, illustrious 9-episode history. Why don't we come up with a solution? How can we fix this thing?
We have lots of solutions. But the specific solution to this one,
correct,
is, first of all, drastically cut the federal budget. The U.S. government, I think, the federal government spends somewhere just north of $4 trillion a year on all manner of ridiculous things. But the first place you could start, and this is, kind of our right-leaning constituency is going to be aghast at this suggestion, but our military budget is so grossly over-allocated for it. It's not even funny. I forget what the actual number is, but it's something like we spend more than the next 14 countries not 14 way down the list. We're talking we're number 1.
The next 14.
And number 2 through 15 combined don't spend as much a year as the United States.
That's why we can dip our balls in gold and soar American Eagles, because we got goddamn F-22s that can pick off a fly from fucking 20 miles away.
So,
Merca.
You can start there.
These colors don't run.
Cut the budget.
They're not going to like that, though, dude.
I know.
They are not going to, because it's kind of cool.
But more
importantly,
importantly,
have you ever been to an air show? Have you ever been to an air show, Dane? Have you ever been to an F-22 air show,
And you know what I say to that? You could fly some really, really awesome air shows on U.S. soil if you didn't have a base in nearly every country in the world and constantly dropping $100,000 million
else are we
bombs
supposed to
all
help
over the
them
place.
get democracy over there? All right, don't you understand?
We're just giving people freedom one bomb at a time.
How the fuck are we supposed to bomb their asses back to freedom if we don't have a goddamn military base over there?
You got me there, Chief.
It's going to take us like a whole 2 days to get over there. Well, we could just bomb them right now and save, the transport.
The next and big cog in this solution is audit the Fed, but don't stop there.
Ooh.
And because once you do audit the Fed, you're going to find out that you want this thing completely abolished.
When you hear that 2 upstart podcasters committed suicide next week,
know that it's all a lie.
it wasn't a suicide.
Anderson Cooper is lying. We did not Jeffrey. Wait a minute.
No,
we
fucked
did
this one up.
We did Jeffrey Epstein then, right?
Yeah, we were Epsteined. You would say that we were
Epsteined. We were Epstein, right? Because we did not commit suicide, but
yes, we just turned him into a verb. That's pretty fucking cool. I don't know if it's almost like when you turn a verb into a noun, like sting. Like it was a verb. It's like it stings, and now it's a person. We just did you see how we did the opposite?
Yeah, I see that.
It's like alchemy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Words.
So I mean, there's 2 big prongs to the solution. There's much more, and people much smarter than us.
2 big what?
Did I say prongs? What did I say?
Oh no, I was just making
That's
sure.
what I meant to say. Prongs.
Okay, just making
2
sure.
big prongs to the solution.
Prongs. Not
Pongs.
really.
Pongs.
What's my job here, Dane?
I don't know.
To make dick jokes. Okay.
Dogs.
Thank you.
2 dogs. Well, then make the jokes, Jokey.
Fuck, man. I mean, I led you to the water. I can't kick you in the ass and make you drink it.
There's people a lot smarter than us to have even more in-depth solutions
Understatement
than that.
of the
But
year,
if you start with those 2 things, you're well on your way. But what you definitely don't want to do is you don't want to keep perpetuating stupid memes.
Any more alliterations?
That tell you.
Definitely don't want to do.
Yeah.
Damn.
Definitely don't.
I like alliterations. They are fun. Don't do that.
You don't want to perpetuate stupid memes that say those
Those
greedy capitalists are the reason why laborers, they're not getting the full value of their productivity. It's not that. If it sounds that simple, I promise you it's not, and you should probably do a little more educating before you regurgitate.
And see a voice
stupid
coach,
shit.
You don't have to talk like that all the time. Just fucking enunciate and project and do all the other good stuff that voice coaches. I don't know what they teach you.
WMDpodcast.com/9 is this episode.
That's a beautiful segue.
Come on by.
You just mauled right into it. I hope
Drop in the comments. Drop some links that show everybody else, support our position.
Why don't they
If you
pick
have
up
anything
some
that
links?
refutes it, don't,
Pick up a link
because
every now and
that's how
again.
communists
Don't
work.
just drop it. Pick it up. Share it. Show it love.
Oh, yes,
Nourish
definitely share it. Whether you like us, well, of course, if you don't
you're
like
not
us, you're
gonna
not
share
going
us
to
if
share
it-
it.
I fucking hate these guys. Go listen to them.
If you're wondering how to help us the most, yes, we would love your financial
Aside from
support, but more
psychiatric
importantly,
care.
we would love you to spread the good word. of
Aside
meme
from
destruction.
psychiatric care.
I think that's it.
Is that it?
You got it?
What do we got?
We did good today.
Did we do good?
We did good.
We did good.
We did a good
Did
thing.
we earn a candy bar?
Anyway, stop by, say hi, over and out.